So, Jenny, welcome to our podcast, The Power of Hope, which we are doing, trying to collect as many good stories from many countries who have ratified Istanbul Convention, because sometimes for the public it's a little bit complicated to understand what is the impact of this convention on women and girls' lives. And so having people like you telling the story of Iceland, for example, help us a lot to understand what are the things you're considering are quite good and working and I think you have also started you have this multidisciplinary approach as well in Iceland. So anything you would like to share with us which is making you happy and proud of the work you are doing, you and your organization?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to participate. For starters, it was good that the Istanbul Convention was established very, very early, the same day actually that it was presented. So, but it has been a journey to work, with the aims that it presented. So I think the first real impact that we could see was like in 2015, when it was the changing of protocols within the Metropolitan Police and the City of Reykjavik, when they started working together in a protocol together against violence. And before that, there were no real protocols when the police arrived at the scene of domestic violence. They didn't have any tools. And we could see, like I can see in my work, when people are describing police intervention, and I can hear if it was before or after 2015.
Oh, wow.
Because
that's
like,
a good thing.
Yeah, I get goosebumps because, yeah.
Yeah, so that's very interesting because each country has its own development. But I think it's the first time when I hear the phrase before and after Istanbul Convention, which is great. Super.
Yeah, because the then Chief of Metropolitan Police, Sigrid Björk, she made a lot of effort changing the protocols within the police, and she was not popular within the police at the time because it meant a lot of extra workload, change of attitude, and in a case categories which was the thought within the police was it was not working. You are not wasting time with this because it's a difficult category. The women doesn't want to leave and nothing is going to change. So she faced a lot of obstacles on this way, but I don't know if I should be personal because the year of 2015, and actually almost 10 years from today, it was the 12th of October, was the day that I escaped my domestic abuse. I ran away with my kids.
Wow.
Yes. And
powerful. Yeah.
And 1 month after that, I tried to go back and collect my personal belongings. It was not possible, and I called the police to be present outside my house. And I remember because I was so terrified and he was so angry, and the police called me aside, put me in the car and said, okay, this is what I see. If you want to get your belongings, we have to arrest him. And he explained to me why, and I made then a cognitive decision of not collecting my things because I had a long way ahead of, working with this man because I have to go to this mediation, I have to try to arrange some custody and visitation contracts and financial agreements or something like that. And I made a cognitive decision that day based on what this police officer told me to not push this any further at this time. And I remember going home in all this confusion, I had something to there was something that made sense to me that day, and that was this conversation with that policeman. Because at this early stage in leaving, you were still very confused.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So, and I can see whenever I speak to mostly women who have been have had some contact with the police, I can see, because it's like a bridge. You're on
Yes.
either one side or the other. And when you are before 2015, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing, yeah. So
And then it was very, soon it was, a lot of support that came from the police. So I think that was the biggest steps. And also because with that change of protocols, then when the police are getting the call through the emergency number, they will check if there are child or children living at the household, and if there is so, they will contact the Child Protective Services, and they will arrive at the same time.
so we are all working like simultaneously to the case.
Yes, and they will offer social service agent both to the perpetrator and the victim, and so everybody could meet at the scene and start doing their own thing. The police did not have to play social worker
Role, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and the Child Protective Services could arrive at the scene when everything is in motion, and everybody could see with their own eyes what is going on, and they could start working from their own end.
Yes, because otherwise depend on how other people are
Describing the
situation.
Yeah, and based on other people's opinion and.
So, wow, 10 years. So I think it's we also work with a lot of women who now are the voices of our programs, and also there is always the focus on the survivor is quite important. So I think that has changed, because then it was like what is the organization or institution needs to do, but it was like a very divided way of seeing things, and now it's this cooperation. And I'm one of the questions I want to ask you, and this will be the last question because we want to make quite short stories for the audience, is, there are some countries who have signed but didn't ratify yet the convention. So any advice for those, I don't know, government, or how would you present your story, your country, in terms of like encouraging them to go farther?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think if you go with the agreement of the convention, Istanbul Convention, I think you will gain a lot of things. Both you will break the silence or cycles of violence, and you will have like the NGOs. They are taking a lot of responsibility already to support victims, and I think it's going to be beneficial for the income of the government, because if you support more women who are facing domestic violence, they will probably not leave the labor market as soon as they probably would if they are,
So yeah, it's an interesting economic perspective.
Yeah.
They like the budget, so
Yeah, I think we have to talk about that, because
Yeah,
we can see
yeah.
in a recent study in Iceland of women between the age of 40 to 65, there is a lot of higher percentage of women leaving the labor market than men. And when they, in their study, they could see this was women who were maybe poor, they have faced domestic violence or any kind of gender-based violence, and they had been a single parent and have the responsibility and, of course, a lot of worries bringing up the children. So I think if you can support women from being in those situations, I think you will gain a lot as a society.
Having economic independence, and
Yes.
in the end, everybody has to win from that.
Yes, and you will bring up healthier children.
Of course,
Yeah.
because in a safer environment, it's a completely different well-being for everybody.
Yeah.
Jenny, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully everybody will know a little bit more about the Istanbul Convention and how this can help us.